All right, welcome everybody. We are here. This is our test review night because the test is out and we like to get on that right away. And we'll use that to stimulate some conversation around certain topics. So some of you I know are traveling today and listen to the video and audio here. Obviously, shoot me a note. Let me know that you've done that. So I know you're staying up with everything. And a couple things that are important to note regarding our schedule. Next, we're going to skip next week, the actual week, and I'll give you an opportunity to kind of make sure you get your test in. I always give you a chance to like spend a night to get your test done. So my expectation is that after tonight, we review the questions. If there's any that we have any questions on, we'll kind of get those answered, and then you do your test next week at some point in time. And then instead of meeting on the following, okay, so the date, let me just get the date straight here. So today is the 2nd, August 2nd. So on August 9th, that is we won't have any formal night, but sometime during next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get that test done if you have not done it already. We'll talk about that process again today. It's online. You have to do it at the njsia.org website. You have to be logged in. And obviously, you'd have to pay your registration fees and all to get access to that. So no class next week. And the following week, our very last class will be, if okay with everyone, unless someone has like major problems, I'd like to do it earlier in the week because I think some of the scrimmages are going to start to crank up. I think later in that week or the following. So I'm going to shoot for the 14th will be our last session, 14th of August. And that will be, I'd like to start it a little earlier. It tends to be a little bit longer because we're going to talk about mechanics. So I'm suggesting we go at 7, and that way it gives us, hour and a half, 2 hours. It'll be our last session together. We're going to talk strictly about field mechanics, procedures, like what do you do on the field, all that kind of stuff. And we'll kind of chalkboard it, all that kind of stuff. And I think the following weekend, and I forget what the date, actually, I should just pull that up. But not too far after that, you'll be matched up with someone on the field for some scrimmages. And it'll be a situation where they'll go out and shadow you. What I usually do when I work with new folks is that I'll go on the field and you'll run next to me and we'll talk the whole time. I'll tell you what I'm looking at, what I'm doing. You'll start to see how we call the game. The best part about it is sometimes you get in some really competitive matches because most of the scrimmages are all varsity boys and girls. They'll play some JV kids in there too. But we'll try to match you up appropriately, but you won't be thrown into the fire without having someone help you. And then usually I'll filter that person in when they feel comfortable, say, okay, you want to run, and I'll run behind you, and we'll have two whistles, there. So if like something happens, I'll blow my whistle if it's an issue. And then usually by the second half, I step off the field and just watch and see how you do. So, typically, though, and it varies, just want to put this out there, that the cadets sometimes don't get paid for the scrimmages because they usually only pay 2 officials, and usually they pay the mentors that are out there. So when you get assigned a scrimmage, some schools will pay, some schools won't. And but remember that part of your reimbursement, if you finish the program and work through the season, is that the state will reimburse you. Last year it was $300, which is super. It pays for your uniform, your dues, your scrimmages, and even some of your assessments, right? So works out really good. And so just wanted to throw that out there. Again, don't be disappointed if you come out to a scrimmage is a learning experience. And because the veterans get assigned the scrimmages and you get tagged along and paired up with them, and you'll work with them 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, whatever it happens to be. Okay, so that's that. So the schedule, I'll put that out in email to everyone so you have it, but we skip next week. Our last class will be the following Monday. So next week's test, get your test done, make sure everything's all registered. Here's the deal. If you don't have the test done, you're not fully registered and go through all that stuff, you can't get assigned games. You literally will be locked out of the system at a certain date. I don't know what that date is. I think it's coming soon. I heard the football crew is already locked out, some of them. And so anyway, you got to do that. Concussion certificate. I sent everyone a note on this new thing that everyone has to attend once in your lifetime. It's the implicit bias training that every official in the state of New Jersey must go through. So if you do it for us now, unless you did it for football in the past, football was the only group that piloted it before. Unless you did it for football, you have to do it. And then you don't have to do it ever again. We do the concussion thing every year. It's pretty much the same class, 20 minutes, half hour. And then obviously we take that refresher test, open book every year. So that's what's ahead of us. And I think you guys will be ready to go. And here's the thing. The level of soccer, if you haven't worked soccer before, the level that you will be put in and working with others will be at the level that you feel comfortable. Most likely it's freshmen. It could be a JV game. It could even be like an 8th grade game, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade games. And we'll talk about all that next week. How do you handle that? Because a lot of those games are just one person. So it's like perfect. You can kind of do whatever you want. It's almost like gym class. Just make sure the kids don't kill each other. And you get a good payday for there because they pay the varsity rate for a 7th and 8th grade game. So it's nice. And our assigner, Joe Harrison, won't send you far away. He keeps you close. So you got to have your availability updated in ZebraWeb. And again, we'll go for new people. We'll go into that next week. And because that'll be kind of the mechanics of actually working. Part of that is making sure your schedule's up to date. All right. So tonight, I'd like to walk through the questions of the test and see what questions you might have. And let me pull it up on my side here. Also, I have something really cool if you're interested. I'll send it in an email. So I would say do this. When I shoot the email out, let me share my screen. Share screen. Here we go. I've created this thing a few years ago, and I just need to double check, make sure none of the questions have changed. It's like a 50 question quiz. And my suggestion is when you get a moment, right, take it without opening the book, literally to see what you know. It's not pass or fail. It's literally for you to assess after you go through the course. I always use it as kind of the final exam. And I always suggest take it with the book closed just to see what you know. They're not like super hard questions, right? And I think there's 50 of them in here. I think there's 50. Hold on, let me see here. 50, I believe. 50, yeah. So see out of 100 how many you can get right and without opening the book. And it's a good measurement. It's a good barometer, right? And then if you want to take it again, you can go back and open the book and take it again. You can take it as many times as you want. But I call this our final check, because the open book exam is you're opening it and you're reading the questions. And look, we're going over the answers now anyway. But this one asks you things that you probably should know without having to open the book. So I'll give you that link to that. And I would say, sometime before our last class, maybe it probably will take you 20 minutes to go through this. I think you'll enjoy it, right? So it's 50 questions. If it could be a half hour maybe, but I think it's certainly worth it. Okay. So I'll send you that link. But what I want to do now is dive in and go through some of the questions right now. And I want to start with I want to make sure we cover, I think we can get through all of them. It's only 50 of them. So we'll get through them fairly quickly here. We might go a little bit past 9. I think it'll take us about an hour to go through this. And when we get to some that we want to have certain topics, like when we get to offside, I want to pause and kind of pull that up a little bit and kind of thread that out. Just make sure we understand a couple things. We need to make sure we understand the offside rule, and we need to make sure that we understand things like substitutions and things like that. But that's all in here. Okay. So here we go. So is Dimitri on here tonight? I don't see Dimitri. We're gonna have to take some of these guys' questions if you guys don't mind. So the first question I had here is and let's just take guesses at them. And Mike, you had submitted yours, so you probably have all these in the top of your head. But let's just go through these really quick, okay? So the first question says, during a penalty kick, during a penalty kick, kicker kicks the ball and immediately deflates. What's the appropriate restart? Dave, if you had to guess, what'd you think?
I would have guessed the one that's in green, just retake the penalty kick.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, I obviously didn't look there and see it was green, but you're right. Yeah, it is. When we have deflated ball, we retake the penalty kick. Easy enough.
I'm not a big soccer guy, but has that ever happened?
Never in my lifetime, but maybe it does. I'm sure it could, right? Because they're balls, right? They could really go down. I'm going to just keep going down the list. Mike, Joe, then Tyron. All right. So, Mike, what do you think of this one? What did you score on this one? Goal kick touched twice by the kicker.
A goal kick touch, that's double touch. That's indirect kick.
Yeah,
by the
right.
opposing team at the spot of infraction.
Yeah, there you go. So that is correct. Whoops, I don't want to do that. With a highlighted green. All right, that's right. And you'll have access to this document. I've given you guys access to this. So, yeah, that's right. So if for some reason the kicker touches it before another player has touched the ball, we have an indirect kick from the spot of the infraction. Easy. It's in the book. Okay. Joe, what do you think of this one? A goal may be scored directly from
goal kick into the opponent's goal C.
A goal kick. That's correct. Right. So obviously the other ones are, you can't score a goal from a throw in. You can't score. And you should know this, right? If someone throws the ball in the net, can't score a goal. If you can't score a goal from a drop ball, that's to be touched by someone else, and a goal kick into your own goal. Do you know what happens if they score it through a throw in or into their own goal kick into their own goal? Well, if it's a throw in, what logically would it be?
6 kick.
Yeah, goal kick, right?
Yeah, goal kick.
Yep. And a goal kick into your own goal, what do you think that is? Like if it could happen with a little kid, he kicks it backwards.
Retake it, I think, right?
Well, it's not retake.
No, not retake. I don't know. Goal kick into your own goal.
It would be a corner kick, right?
Oh, corner. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because the team knocked it over their own line, right?
Right.
Yeah, yep. It's just you can't score in your own goal, right? On a goal kick. You can in a regular run a play, right? Yep. All right. For Tyrone, what do you think?
C.
A goal should be allowed if the ball between the goal post and the crossbar, in the following case, the entire ball is beyond the goal line. Yeah, I go with that. I like that one. Yep, I'm with you. Let's go back to the top again. Jim, you just joined. We're just going over some of the questions. A few of the guys are not here tonight, and
okay,
we're just literally just going through the test.
That's fine.
Cool. We'll put you in the loop next time through. You'll go after Tyrone. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. What do you think? Back to the top, David. What do you think? A goal may not be scored directly from one of these. What do you think?
Goalkeeper's throw.
Yeah, right. Can't throw the ball in the net. I'm with you there. So, yep, can't. And we should remember that, right? You can't score from you can't a throw in or anybody's throw, goalkeeper's throw. Obviously, the other person is allowed to touch the ball. So can't score from touch on a throw, can't score from run a play, the goalkeeper's throw. Penalty kick, the kick rebounds off the goalkeeper back to an attacking player who entered the penalty area before the kick was taken. So this is an interesting one because sometimes these are hard to remember. Like I never remember these things, but you go to your little cheat sheet that you stick in your pocket and you pull it out and it's on page, well, I don't have the new rule book. I got last year's rule book, but there's a whole section. I can find it here real quick. Probably can't find it that quick, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a grid that shows, here it is, this grid right here, right? That grid on last year's rule book. Well, it's rule 14 dash whatever, penalty kick situations. So you just need to look it up and you can kind of start to think about what happens if these happen. So in this case, what does the chart tell us?
It's on
Indirect.
It's on page 75 on the new book.
75. Okay, gotcha. So 75, the new book is indirect, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. And the next one if you're not sure, you would just look it up, pull out your cheat sheet. And what happens when the kick rebounds off the goalkeeper's back to a defending player who entered the penalty area before the kick was taken? So it was a defender that entered early. What do you have?
Retake.
Yeah, retake, right? All this time I've never really figured an easy way to remember those, but you don't want to get it wrong. So you definitely come together as a 2-person or 3-person crew and talk about, say, okay, look, this just happened. And hopefully someone has the cheat sheet or you remember it and get it right. Okay. All right, good. So, where are we? Mike, are you up next? I kind of forgot where we left off.
Yeah,
What do
I think I'm up.
What do you think with number 8 there? So number 8.
Well, I really thought it was illegal because I thought you were leaving the field without permission, but I looked it up and it's legal.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
You can step off to negate the offside.
Right. So by rule, you can do that, right? So if a player, so let's talk about offside, right? Let me pull up my, oh, that's not it. Hold on there. Let me pull up my chart here. So didn't I have a field diagram on here? I thought I did. Maybe I did. Maybe up top. All right, hold on. Thought I had a good field diagram here. I'll just pull this one up. It's good enough. So if a player steps off, meaning they step over the goal line here, step off an attacking player, that puts them out of play. Okay. Therefore, they're not considered in an offside position as long as they don't come back on and play the ball like that. Their first, they get an advantage they can just stay there, right? Now, the opposite is true of the defender. The defender can't step over the goal line to make a situation where someone is offside. And when we talk for the new folks, offside is there always needs to be 2 players near the goal line. So let's see if we actually have that here. Let's see. Okay. You know what? We didn't talk about offside, did we? Okay. So at the end of the day here, gosh, how did we miss that last time? I think I had a whole little presentation on that we didn't pull up. But at the end of the day, you need two players. That is between the goal line and the person that the ball is being played to. So if they're closer to the goal line and the ball is played to them, then they're considered offside. And notice we don't say offsides, we say offside. They're in an offside position. There's nothing illegal about being in an offside position. That's okay. You can be there, but but it's only a penalty when the ball is played to you and you receive the ball in an offside position. And it's penalized when you become when you are involved in what's called active play. So active play is like somebody could kick the ball to you, and I probably should find the chart that has all this stuff on it. Let's save this one for later. I want to go back to this one. Are you guys on the call comfortable with offside, or you think that's something we should talk a little bit more about? Mike, you're probably comfortable. Jim, you're probably comfortable, right?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Dave, maybe David,
good.
we probably should talk a little bit about offside. Tell me your comfort level with offside.
I mean, I wouldn't waste time just for me. I'm not as comfortable as, the other guys on the call, but I mean, I understand the concept.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll go through it on my own some, and I'll hit you with questions, but I mean, I understand the concept, but just not completely comfortable.
Yep. And there's some unique things. Let's talk about when those questions come up. When they come up, we'll go back to those. Okay. So, but the key thing is it's okay for an attacking player to leave the field just because they don't want to be caught in an offside position, but it's not okay for the defender to go off the field, because that actually is not good. I mean, they can do it, but it doesn't make the attacking team off in an offside position. Okay. All right. Let's go to 9. Joe, I think you were up, right? What do you think? This is a new rule clarification. So check out the wording. A10 is in an offside position and receives a header from the defender B10 who had time, space, and view of the ball. What's the ruling?
I'm saying that it should be legal. So answer B, should be allowed to play the ball as it was last played by an opponent.
Right. Now, why do you think this is a rule change? Any idea if you had a guess? Not that you would know that, but like if you had a guess.
No idea.
Anybody? Why do you think? Why do you think
Parallels USSF.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but yeah, there you go. So the hard thing is, like, if someone plays the ball and the defender accidentally, like it hits off their head or hits off their leg and goes to that attacking player, that they didn't do it intentionally, right? So here's the key. When you see these words, time, space, and view of the ball, that's the new addition to the rule. Time, space, and view of the ball. If they had no time and space, like it was just kicked and they flung their foot at it, then that wasn't an intentional play. Okay. So the player would be in an offside position. Here, this A10 should be allowed to play the ball because the opponent played it, because they had time, space, and view of the ball. So we would say that was a deliberate play because they had time, space, and view of the ball. So that's a new thing this year. I'm sure we'll talk about it in our formal meeting that we have. And by the way, we do have an interpretations meeting that will be coming up. I don't have the dates. Did anybody get the dates for the interpretation meetings or the actual? I think there's one toward the end of August. So, but we'll go through all that stuff. Here we go. A4 is an offside position. So, where were we? Tyrone, right? A4 offside position on opponent's half of the field. Okay. A5 passes the ball to A4, who returns to A4's own half of the field and receives the ball. What do you think?
B.
Yeah, yep. What do you think? If you had to take a guess on that, tell me your familiarity with the offside rule and what you've read.
I'm not really familiar with it. This is my first time ever doing soccer.
Okay. So that's a good so one of the things I will recommend is for those of you that really need to see this somewhere in here. Where is it? Offside fouls and there is a here we go. Let me go here. I want to show you something. So here you go. The offside rule. This is really good. My recommendation is to go on and take this course. I don't know how long it is. Says 2 hours, but this is super important. Like understanding the offside rule talks about like where the attacker is, all these different things. What are the exceptions? And it's in our curriculum. So it's here. And I would say take this free online course. It is super worth your time. Even if you're like, you think you know it, like it can't hurt to refresh that rule. And that's part of our curriculum because I don't want to spend a lot of time teaching something that someone else can teach you so much better. I can answer questions. And I would say when you look at all these things, there's a lot of great stuff here. If you haven't dug into any of these, especially if you're kind of new, dig into some of these little courses. They're short, say, hey, I'm going to spend an hour and just, go into the video. And there's a lot, if you go into the video section, right? And you separate this down and search for just soccer, right? It has some great stuff. Like here's our mechanics. Here's signals. Like this is like so much better than I could do. That's why these are called office hours and not so much like we're kind of teaching, but these are amazing. This is our library of what you should focus on. So if you're new, if you're not, you're not alive on this call and you're listening, go to the curriculum and click on the video library. And I would say 100% check out the one on offside. That's a good one. Okay. But to continue this, what did you think? So what was your guess? If you had to take a guess?
B.
B? Well, it wouldn't be B. So here's the thing. Okay. The answer is whenever you're in an offside position and the ball is struck and you move to a position to play it, whether or not you're still in an offside position or you move to an onside position, you are still considered offside because it's where you were when the ball was struck. Okay. So A5 passes the ball to A4, who then returns to their own half of the field, which of course their own half of the field, you cannot be in an offside position in your own half of the field. Only in the opponent's half can you be in an offside position. And again, there's nothing wrong with being in an offside position. It's just you're penalized if the ball is played to you. And again, you should take that course. It explains it so crystal clear. But just for testing purposes, like I want to get you through the test, right? And then you'll learn this stuff later. Don't feel like you have to learn it tonight. We want to get through this hurdle, and then we'll answer those questions as they come up. All right, Jim, you're finally in the mix now. So what happens when spectators come in, disrupt play? What do you have the authority to do here?
On number 11, I put stop play and caution the coach.
Well, I would say you even have a little bit more authority there. Here's the reason. These are spectators, right?
Right.
So the coach is not necessarily responsible for spectators. Unlike maybe USSF, where the coach is responsible for the parents. Here, it's the school administration really takes care of this, but you actually have
Terminate.
Yeah, you actually have the ability to stop and pause the game, right? You can terminate the game. Now, what we recommend you do, if this happens, is that you actually stop the game, and you call over game administration. There's someone there at the beginning of the game that you've identified who is the on-site administrator, and that person will handle the fans. And if they can't do that, then you can terminate or suspend. We actually suspend the game, and that's in New Jersey, because we don't determine a winner. We just stop because of whatever. Okay, good. All right, back to the top. David, what do you think? So back to offside. I know this is kind of new, but if we walk through this, someone B19 is in an offside position. B12 kicks the ball forward, but the ball deflects. Notice it says deflects off A1 to B19. B19, would you think they're offside or onside? What do you think?
Offside, penalized for being offside, C.
Yeah, right. You got it. That's right.
Because you're saying they didn't have time, that goes back to your time, space.
That's right.
Didn't have that.
That's right. When the ball deflects off someone, what we assume in the words of a test and quiz, the ball deflects, that means they didn't have time, right? There was no deliberate action there. Yeah. And like in a real game, it's really what happens. Like they're so close to the player, it kind of deflects off their shoulder or their head and then goes to that player that's in an offside position. That's an offside. They'd be penalized for being offside. Yep. Good job. 13. So Mike, what do you think? Attacker, offside position when A8 delivers the ball to A4 with a throw in.
Goal.
Why do you
It's a
say that?
goal.
Tell me
There's
why.
There's no offside on a throw-in.
That's right. Right.
So that would be a good goal.
It would be a good goal, right?
Yep.
So even though you cannot throw the ball into the goal, you can throw it to somebody in an offside position. What are some of the other things? When can you, what are the other 2 times that you can be in an offside position and receive the ball and not be penalized? You know, there's 3 times.
Corner kick.
Corner kick,
Goal kick.
goal kick, and this one is a throw in. Yeah.
Yep.
Those 3 situations, throw in. Teams that are smart run someone hard. If they get the ball and they can pick it up quick, they run someone hard down the line, just launch it, because that player can be as far as they want. Okay, good. Who did that? Oh, it was Mike. Okay, so Joe, back to you. Attacker, A10 is in an offside position, receives the ball from a goal kick. We just talked about it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good. So C, play is allowed to continue because there is no offside violation.
Yeah, there you go. Good. Perfect. Yep. So we are continuing because I can receive the ball from a throw in, a corner kick, or a goal kick. Now, once someone else receives it, if I'm in an offside position after the goal kick or after the corner kick or after the throw in, then I can be penalized for being in an offside position if I receive the ball from that other player. So anyway, okay. Tyron, 15. What do you think? A penalty kick and B4 runs toward the ball to take the kick, enters, and the other team enters the penalty area before they kick the ball. The referee should what? What do you think? So that goes back
B?
to the chart. Yeah, B you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, goes right to the chart, right? Allow play to continue, because we do, and award the goal if it enters the goal. If the goal is not scored, it's retaken. That goes right by the chart. Okay. Good job. All right, Jim, we're back to you. Player takes a penalty kick during the game. The ball rebounds off the goalpost directly to the same person who took the penalty kick. They shoot and score. What do you got? Wait, you're on mute there, sir.
Sorry, it's B,
Tell me why.
because it didn't touch another player before the kicker retouched it.
There you go. Yep. So it's got to touch another player, right? So there we go with that we would start with an indirect kick because it was a kicking violation here. Okay. What if it touched the keeper and deflected out?
All good. If they deflected by the keeper, it would be a corner kick then.
That's right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. 17. Back to David, back to you. If on a penalty kick, there's a deflection out of bounds by the goalkeeper and no violation by either team, what happens? What do you think we do?
That'd be a corner kick.
Yeah, that's right. So anytime the defending team knocks the ball over their own goal line, that would be a corner kick. That's right. Yep. Mike, player's throw in lands completely outside. This is a good one for a USSF person. Lands outside the touch line without have broken the plane of the touch line. The ball bounces into the field of play. What should you do?
Give the ball to the other team. B. Referee awards a throw in to team B because you don't give them a rethrow in high school.
There you go. You would in USSF, but not in high school, right?
I learned that. Yep.
There you go. Good job, Mike. See? Hey, I don't want you to make that mistake when you and I are working together, okay?
I know, right?
Because I'm going to blow the whistle and say, no.
Right.
All right, good. All right, I like it. Okay. 19, Joe, while positioned in the opponent's half, the attacker A2 receives the ball directly from a goal kick taken by a teammate. There are fewer than 2 opponents, so basically they're in offside position. What do you think?
He's onside because it was a goal kick.
Yep. So it is C. So what you just said
C.
is C.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Yep. Again, you cannot be offside if you receive the ball from a goal kick, throw in, corner kick. Okay. Good. Tyrant. Home team's logo obscures the halfway line. What's the best referee response? This is kind of typical for just about anything that's weird. What do you think?
A.
Why do you say that?
Ooh.
Well, let me help you here.
Or it could be D.
It could be, but it's actually not. It's actually with the logo can't obscure the halfway line, right? There has to be there needs to be something marking the halfway line because it's important for us, right? So field's illegal, but the officials should start the game and notify us. You notify the local association following the game. And guess what? That applies for anything that happens weird, right? If something's weird, like if the lines weren't like 100%, like you would just play the game and just live with it because it's high school, right? And you'd report it after, unless it's like dangerous. If something's dangerous, like there's spikes sticking up through the ground or there's glass all over the place, you wouldn't play the game because that would be not good, right? So anytime we have weird things, especially when it has to do with the lines or things like that. Now, if the goals are not secured down, fastened or anchored or weighted down, we don't start the game because that is dangerous. We would make sure that's rectified before we start the game, but we check that ahead of time. All right. Was that Jim? Are you up next? I can't remember now already. I think so.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? The inspection of the field, the penalty area is 45 wide. Okay. What's your best response?
I am going with D, ask the coaches if they wish to continue. I really consider number C, start the game, but I think the coaches should be aware of it.
Well, you might be right, but you can make them aware of it. But what if they said no? So that can't be that's not an option for us because we're always going to play the game. So to my comments in the last question, we're always going to play the game and just report it. Like unless it's dangerous. A mismarked field is not dangerous. It might put one team at a disadvantage in the first half, but it'll be back the second half, right? So whatever, hopefully. Okay. Back to the top, David. Okay. Home team and the visiting team both wearing white shorts. Is that legal? That's the question. Is that legal or is it legal? Illegal?
I thought they had to be wearing different colors, so I would have said it was the same as the last couple where you have them change. If they can't change, you play the game and just let someone know.
Well, that would be correct if it was anything but shorts. Shorts can be any color, right? The thing we're most concerned about are socks and jerseys. Socks and jerseys. Because socks, we look at the feet, right? So those feet we have to have contrasting socks. That's why you're not even allowed to put tape on the outside of the sock. If you have dark blue sock, you can't put white tape around it to hold your shin guards. So we focus on the socks and we focus on the torso, the jersey, right? Because that's what we kind of look at. Shorts, we don't care. So that's okay. We're going to go with permitted. Okay. So there's a good teaching moment. So, now here's a little different one. What happens if the ball becomes deflated during play and it's declared dead? Not during a penalty kick. Penalty kick, we re-kick. But what do you think we do for this play? Mike, what are you thinking here?
I would say, drop ball to the team that last possessed it before it blew up or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Right. So anytime there's an unusual thing, could be a dog runs on the field, it could be whatever, and you have to stop because of something weird, then you restart with a drop ball at the spot where it was last played to the team that last possessed the ball. So you put it there. If it's inside the penalty area, it's a drop ball to the goalkeeper, regardless of what team last possessed the ball. Okay. Because that's the only way we can start in the penalty area. So, all right, good. Joe, to you, which of the following needs to be included on the team roster?
Players, but the coach has to sign it. But you
Yeah.
don't have to put bench personnel on there. Like I never had to put my manager or anybody else on there. So
Yeah, but
bench-
so the definition of bench personnel is anyone that's not in the game. You're not a
like a
player
manager,
until you're
but not assistant coaches or managers, right?
no. But
Yeah.
bench personnel are like your substitutions, your substitutes.
Yeah, right, of course.
So therefore, it would be all of them, right?
All yeah.
Yeah, it'd be all of them because that is what all the players,
Right.
all the bench personnel, like actually bench personnel is someone that's not in the game, substitutes, right? Coaches. Okay. All right. The visiting team arrives at the game site and the goalkeeper's jersey is does not have a number. This happens a lot. You'll be surprised how often this one happens. Who's up? Forget who's up now.
I think I am.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's A. We still want the players to play, but just noted in there.
Yeah, right. So
Association.
you guys are catching on. In high school, like we're gonna play the game. But they should change. And by the way, when we have an illegal uniform situation, we always notify the head coach. We don't go up to the keeper and say, "Hey, Mr. Keeper, that's an illegal shirt. You need a number on there. You need to go change it." We never give instruction to a student athlete. We always address the head coach. Always. You can say, "Hey, I just went over and your goalkeeper doesn't have a number. Here's the thing. He needs to change. He or she needs to change." Right? Okay. Oh, you guys are out of order on my thing now. Joe, I'm going to give you again because the order has changed on my list. So I don't get all confused. Joe, do me this one. 26. Player enters the game wearing beads in the hair. I love this one. Securely wrapped in a bun and secured to the head. What do you think?
Because it's securely wrapped in a bun and wrapped to the head, it's okay.
Yeah, right. And we talked about this, right? Anything to do with hair adornments. Notice it's the word, hair We're super sensitive to this unless it's flopping around. If it's flopping around, you can tell the head coach they can't play until it's made legal, right? That is, it has to be securely fastened to the head. All right, Tyron, we'll go to you now. Hosting school, junior varsity varsity match same day after JV concluded. The JV team stays during the match. They're shouting comments, abusive language for the referees. What are we doing? What would you do?
D.
Stop player. Well, okay. Now let's go back to what I said a little bit earlier. What do we, as a point of procedure from an official's point of view, who's responsible for spectators?
The director.
Somebody we'll call him the on-site administrator, because it actually could even be, I don't know, that might not be the athletic director, could be like a parent or somebody that's responsible. It's identified themselves prior to the game as they are the on-site administrator. So you would go to them. So now knowing that, what would you do?
Allow play. No.
Well, we're
B.
not going to ignore comments because it's abusive language, right? And we
Yeah.
don't ignore abusive language comments that are directed toward the referees, right? So the
It'd be
answer
B.
is, it is B, right? The answer is, and we'll always get this right, because whenever you have spectator issues, we stop the game and we call over the on-site administrator and you state the problem to them directly. Mr. Jones, you're my on-site administrator, correct? Yes. Okay. Those 3 fans that are sitting in the front row are yelling obscenities at the officials. I need you to, whatever appropriate action that you would like, they need to either you go over and tell them to be quiet, or the next time they need to be removed, or I've had enough, they need to go right now. You have the ability to have folks removed from a game, but again, that would be for egregious stuff, flagrant. If it's flagrant, you have them removed. If it's annoying and you just want to like calm it down, you can say, look, go take action. The next time we stop the game, we're not going to be quite as polite. But we never stop play and direct the players to do anything. We never, because these are spectators. Even though they were players at one time, they're spectators right now. We never throw people directly out of a game. Always go to just like we go to the coach with the uniform issues, we go to the on-site administrator when we have spectator issues. Okay. All right. Gosh, I talked so long. Can't remember who that was. Who was it? Okay. Back to David, right?
Yep.
28, David. What do you think? Player passes ball A3 using the shoulder area above the armpit. Hit it off the shoulder.
I say allow play to continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna allow play to continue. What's the cutoff line for handling?
The armpit.
Armpit. There you go. Right. Yep. It is the armpit. Beautiful. Mike, back to you. The goalkeeper for Team A is wearing light blue socks. Goalkeeper's teammates are wearing black socks. What do you think?
A. Legal as long as the other team doesn't have light blue.
Yeah, they just can't. The keepers just can't match the opposite team because that'd be really confusing for the
Right.
Yep. Official, right? So
Yep.
they can wear any color they want: orange, blue, black, as long as it's not light blue, right?
Yep.
To be confusing. So sometimes it's funny you don't notice that until the game gets going, but it is something you should look at ahead of time. Jim, back to you. 1 minute and 30 left in the first half of play. Team A's got a 2-goal lead when the ball goes to play for a goal kick. Team A makes a substitution. Official timer should. The timer should what?
It should not stop. I got A.
Yeah,
it's in the
right.
First half.
First half. Yeah, clock does not stop in the first half, right? If it was 1 minute and 30 left in the second half, and team A wants to make a substitution because they have a lead, you would stop the clock, right?
Correct.
Yep. Good. Joe, back to you. B2's pulled down by the jersey, A5. Referee stops playing towards a free kick. Now, this one's a little tricky. I'm not so
Yeah.
sure there's a real right answer to this, but let's go. Go with it anyway. Pulled down by the jersey by A5. The referee stops playing towards a free kick. Team B, A5 then picks up the ball, begins walking away with the ball, yelling the player fell down on their own. What do you have here?
Well, quick question before I answer. I thought pulling a jersey was an automatic caution.
Well, that's what I'm saying here too. So keep going.
Okay. But now he's got a delay on top of that because he picked up the ball and started yelling. So there's definitely going to be a caution, but I'm not seeing.
Well, you're right. And that's why I say, I bet you this is one that.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you people are going to debate this one a little bit. At a minimum, they're cautioned for the pulled down by the jersey. That's a tactical foul, which is automatically a caution.
Right.
So the first half of this question, I have a caution. Now, by them doing this other horseshit right here, right? I would say you technically could give them a second caution, but maybe out of the kindness of your heart, you only give one here.
Happen into one.
Yeah, right. But the reality is, by rule, there's been two things that have happened here.
Right.
And I wouldn't be so, it depends on how egregious the second half was, but definitely I got a caution on this one.
Yeah.
And then it's just how bad this was. If it was nasty, yep. Okay. You got one, I pull it down, I show the other and pull it down and pull up the red. Then it's gone. Yep. You got it. Okay. Good job. Where are we? Back to the top, I think? No. Who was that? I forget who was just talking there. Is that Joe? That was Joe, right? Good. All right. Let's go to Tyrone. After a goal by Team B, player on A stands at the opponent's half of the field and kicks the ball backwards after the official blows a whistle to restart the game. Before the ball is touched by another player, the same player kicks the ball and again to redirect it. What do you think? Is that legal?
No.
Agreed. So what's the penalty?
C.
It wouldn't be C. You're close, but it's an indirect, right? It's an indirect. So, right. You guys all agree with that?
Yes.
Yep. So it's just like if the goalkeeper or somebody on a goal kick touched it before touching another player. So same thing here. We have an indirect as kind of the penalty. All right. Back to the top, David. The goalkeeper, before taking a goal kick, moves from the right side of the goal area to the left side of the goal area before spotting the ball. Is that okay?
Thought he couldn't do that, but I don't know what the penalty is.
Well, good. And you know what? You got to read this question carefully. Before spotting the ball.
So we didn't spot it and then move it.
Right. That's a little tricky here. So you had to read this one. So the answer is, yeah, they can do that as long as they're not wasting time. If they're like walking back and forth and you think they're literally wasting time, then you could stop the clock and give them a verbal, friendly warning, or you could caution them if they were really wasting time, like in the last 30 seconds of a game for some reason, and it really meant something, right? Yeah, game situation. But once they put the ball down, they're not supposed to pick it back up. And that was the one I couldn't find in the book. If anybody finds that, let me know. I believe it's an indirect. But I haven't found that one. All right, Mike, back to you. During the taking of a penalty kick, the kicker plays the ball backward to a teammate who shoots and scores a goal. What's the correct restart here?
That would be an indirect. You can't move the ball backwards, so indirect for the defending team.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, he infracted going backwards, so goes to the other team.
Yep. It's because they went backwards, right?
Yep.
The ball must be kicked forward for it to be on a penalty kick. So
Right.
so can't. This is what made it a bad situation there. Yep. Okay. Good. Next, referee observes player A1 wearing socks with the foot cut off. What do you think?
B. I'm sorry, it's C.
C. Yep.
I wasn't sure about this, but that was my guess.
Yeah, no, I think you got it right. Right. By rule, they can cut off the sock as long as anything that's visible underneath
Correct.
and above the ankle is similar in colors. So like, and that's right. We care about the socks and we care about the jersey most of all. Right. So yes, you could do that for sure. Okay. Charlie had given a bunch of these. We can go through his answers since he's not here. So Charlie said, on a corner kick, the defending team should be positioned 10 yards away from the corner arc. Remember, the arc is a little bit further out. So, and a lot of schools do have marks there, 10 yards from the corner arc. So yeah, that's correct. Charlie also said team A is in the lead during the last 5 minutes of the game. So Charlie said C, stop the clock for substitutions. And I'm not so sure that's right. What do you guys think?
I had B
Yeah,
Because
tell me
of-
why.
because the losing team subbed first.
Yeah, so check this out. So let's dissect this. This is an interesting situation. Team A is in the lead during the last 5 minutes of the game. So if Team A is going to make a substitution, we are going to stop the clock because we're underneath 5 minutes. But here, Team B has a substitute who has reported to the official area. Ready? So Team B is going to substitute, right? Then Team A then sends a player to report to the official area and is ready to substitute. The ball goes out of play and Team B is awarded a throw-in. So I look at this as kind of win, right? I kind of believe I want to run this by our interpreter because I think we all do this a little bit differently, but whenever the substitutes, whenever the team that is ahead sends in a substitute, we are going to stop the clock. So I'm going to go with this. You guys in agreement of that? Anybody have anything different on that? What did you put, Mike, on your test? You get that one right?
I think I got that one wrong.
What did you say? You thought it was this?
So the right answer is C or B?
I think the right answer is C.
Not the clock.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think I put the other one because the losing team was subbing, so A just piggybacked on them. So
Yeah.
I figured, you're not penalizing them because they put their guy up second, but that's my thinking. But
Yeah, well, and you would think that, but and it's very possible. I'm going to say I have a question on this one. It's not really clear in the rule book. I marked it red. I'm going to put question on this.
yeah, I think I got that one wrong. I think it is C. I think you're right.
Yeah, I kind of think it is as well. I
Yeah.
think it's no matter what happens, if that team that's ahead is substituting, right? And so the ball is up play and oh, wait a minute. Now I get it. Now I know why I put this note. Aha. The ball goes out of play and Team B is awarded. It is a Team B throw-in. I still think it's either B or C. And I think I read into this one like 50 times. I kind of think it might be, Mike, what you were saying. It's that because it's Team B's throw-in.
I gotta leave, Billy.
Okay, but Jim, good luck, man. Jim's on call. He's a fireman there. So
involved. Yeah, but I think if I remember right, I think I got that wrong.
So which one did you put? Did you put,
I think I put B and I think it was C.
yeah, I kind of feel like, and we're going to get some clarification on that. So I'm going to underline that one.
Maybe it's just automatic. If the team win in subs, you stop the clock.
I
That's
think
what
it
it
is.
seems like.
So
Yeah.
that's a good clarification question because that was a kind of a new rule change. I think it was last year, or the year before. And, the honest truth is that when teams are up by a lot, we don't stop the clock no matter what, right? If they're up
Right.
by a bunch of goals, they don't want you to stop the clock. But I think if you look at that 3-4-3 rule, it's going to tell you that the answer is C, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay. 38. He said, this was Charlie. Charlie said, Team B kicks the ball toward a teammate. The ball strikes a hand of a player from Team A who's back. So the kicker and holding has a side referee should. Do you guys all agree? Allow play to continue, no foul?
I agree.
Yeah. Right. It wasn't intentional. Now, what if with this same situation, holding their hands to their side and the ball went in the goal?
No goal.
Right.
Right.
Yep. New rule clarification that regardless of the intent, if it strikes a hand, then a goal can't be scored in high school. I know it's a little different in the other things, right? So, all right, that's good. We got that. He also says you submit the team roster, which of the following is not permitted once the game starts. All these, you can add players, you can change numbers, you can add bench personnel, you can do whatever you want. So there's no penalty, but you have to have that roster before you start the game. That's it. Right?
Yep.
There's only a handful of questions left. A player's jersey may include which of the following? Can they have a flag? Yes. They have
Yes.
commemorative
Yeah.
patch? Yes. Memorial patch? Yes. So they can have all those things. Yep. Which of the following has direct supervision over ball holders? Who has direct supervision of them?
See?
Yep.
Officials.
Yeah, right. You have control of all that stuff. So yeah, you would have control of the ball holders. And look, in some lower level games, you're not going to worry about it. And in most high school games, they're going to have people run the lines for you to help go chase the balls down so the game doesn't play on. All right. Anybody during the play, player appears injured, the referee stops play. When's the player required to leave the field? Rule change this year. When do they have to leave the field?
When the referee stops the clock.
And not just because you stop the clock. Now this rule change this year used to be, if I stop the clock last year, that player's going off. This year, I can stop the clock and assess and say, I can stop the clock, player's down, and I can say, hey, are you okay? You okay? You want me to call on coach or whatever? And if the coach or the athletic trainer or healthcare professional comes out, now they must go off. So a lot of times now they'll know that they won't just come running out there. Before they would come running out there because they knew once you stopped the clock, they had to come out. You were coming out anyway. So, but that's the key thing. Once you beckon them on, or they come on, if they come on, you beckon them anyway. If you see a coach running on the field, just wave your hand like you're the one that told them to come on so that they don't get in trouble. Okay. Here we go. Ball strikes the referee standing on the field just outside the goal area, and the ball enters the goal. What do you have?
Not a goal.
It's definitely not a goal. So what do we get? What do we do then? What's the restart? So it's not a kickoff. We're not going to kick it off. It's got to be A, C, or D. What would it be?
D, defending team's goalkeeper.
It goes to the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, right. As sad as it sounds, right?
Yeah, right.
It's sad as it sounds. It goes to the team, the defending team's goalkeeper. Anytime it touches the referee and puts a team at a disadvantage, or the possession changes, or it goes in the goal, or it goes out of play, then we drop it. If it was in the penalty area, we give it to the defending team's goalkeeper. Just drop it, and they can pick it up, do whatever they want with it. If they pick it up, they have 6 seconds. If they play it at their feet, they can play as long as they want, just like a regular field player. So, last couple, because we're not going to do the the video ones. They're not working. Player kicks a ball, deflects off the referee standing on the field near the halfway line. So we just talked about this. So what's the restart here? Goes over the touchline. It's always going to be a drop because they kick the ball halfway line, the ball goes directly over the touchline. So what's the appropriate restart?
Yeah, it would go
Me?
back to.
Well,
go back to the.
keep
Wait,
going, keep
No,
going.
go back to A, right?
Well,
A had the ball last, and it hit the ref, went out of bounds. So wouldn't you drop it back to A?
I would. Now, here's an interesting thing.
I might
I
have got that one wrong too.
Well, no, listen to this. So here, this one I think we could debate a little bit. I'm going to mark this one red. You almost need to see this play. If I was standing on the touchline or near the touchline and the player kicked it over to me and I couldn't get out of the way and it went out of play, like I didn't put the team at a disadvantage. That ball was heading out of play. If I would have jumped out of the way, that ball's heading out of play. But it says I'm standing on the field near the halfway line. Well, where near the halfway line? Like in really far in, right? And
Yeah,
so
you'd have to see that happen.
I would, but
Yeah.
I think the answer to this is they want you to say it's a drop. I think on the test, I think what they're trying to say is the answer is a drop ball to team A because you caused a disadvantage. I don't think they want you to read into this question. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's my guess. So,
But if it's going out of bounds and you can't get out of the way and you lift your leg and it hits your leg and goes out, I'd probably just give a throw in, right?
I
Because it's going out of bounds.
out of play.
Yeah, out of play.
Not bad. I'm a basketball ref, so
There
you're
we go. My
bringing back my
terminology.
memory. That's right. Come on, Mike.
So, yeah, I need this.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Yeah. So look, you guys can guess whatever you want on this. But I mean, it could be this. I'll just put that here. Like maybe, but I don't know. Who knows? Look, I
Yeah.
take this test every year. I always get a couple wrong and I can never figure out why. Like even when we go back over it, I'm like, oh my God, I still don't understand why. So the good news is you don't have to get them all right. It's perfect. Second whistle is required to restart play for all the following except what?
Direct kick, B.
Right. Why is that?
Because they can take a quick kick.
That's right. Yeah, they doesn't have to. A second whistle is a well, in a direct kick, it would be a ceremonial restart. And so therefore, we know direct free kicks, they can just kick and go, right? Off they go.
Yep.
A10 offside position. Defender deliberately and with time and space in view. There's our words again. Time, space, and view of the ball extends their leg to play the ball. The ball then inadvertently goes toward A10. The official shall. What do you guys
This
think?
question was a little weird because it doesn't say that B12 touches it.
Well, it goes to A. Well, no, it says deliberately extends their leg to play the ball. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Who's to say it
Like
even?
if B12 has the ball, then yeah, he's onside, he's good. But if it looks like it like hits a blade of grass and deflects, I don't know. It's a very
I
weird.
hear. Yeah, I think they're saying that they played the ball. They're saying to play the ball, meaning they played the ball.
If they play the ball, he's on sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's A.
Yeah. I am going to let's see what number's at 46.
Yeah.
Jump my yeah. So you're saying allow play to continue or no?
Oh yeah. If he's
Yeah.
playing the ball, allow play to continue.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep. I think that's what they're saying here. I think this is play the ball. Say played the ball. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Here we go. Beads in the end of a ponytail with a bun. During the play, the bun comes undone. Line the ponytail with beads to swing freely. At the next stoppage, what do? Next
So
stoppage.
what I would do in real life is A.
Okay.
But I don't know.
However, why? What's the rule tell us we should do? So here's the thing.
I would say C.
Okay, so we need to think of what type. How would you classify this? This is
I
a
wouldn't
really good one.
caution. I wouldn't caution. I would just have them ask them to leave. They have to fix their equipment.
Here's my question: is this improper or illegal?
Improper.
Mm-hmm. Right. How do you know the difference between improper and illegal from a referee perspective? How do we know what the difference is between improper and illegal?
Improper and illegal.
Well, improper means
Well, it was right, and then it went bad.
there you go.
It broke or whatever. It wasn't.
Yeah.
They weren't sneaking it.
That's right. That's right. Illegal means it could never be improper. So earrings, whatever, right? Jewelry, some type of illegal, I don't know, whatever, anything that's not anything by rule that you're not allowed to play with, that you're playing with. And it can't be made legal. It can't be made proper. So if it's properly dressed, and it now becomes improper, like your shin guard comes out, then it was proper, it was legal, and now it doesn't become illegal, it just becomes improper. So the interesting thing about all these, the way we deal with it is the same. We don't stop the game ever, even for illegal stuff. At the first stoppage, unless it's dangerous. Look, if it's super dangerous, like danger, then we can stop the game. But whether it's improper or illegal, we can, and you can read up on this, but we stop the game at the next time. And now it depends on what it was. In this case, you're telling me, is it illegal or improper?
Improper.
Robert.
Yep, I'm with you. Improper. So therefore, she can make it proper. And what you can say is, ask them to correct their equipment. And if not immediately correctable, ask them to leave without a caution because it's improper. If it was illegal, okay, what would the answer be? What if it was an illegal thing? Change the question to illegal. What would it be?
C. Give the caution to the head coach.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because the coach checked all the equipment, right?
That's right. That's right. And then on the next infraction, if with another player, who gets the caution?
The player.
Player. Head coach gets the first on illegal equipment, right? Not improper. We don't caution improper. They just have to go out of the game and they can re-enter at the next, and they can be subbed for. They can be subbed for. If the girl's like, oh, I got to go over and get my things to get my hair done. Okay, that's all right. You can go out and they can substitute in. So, but no cautions on that, right? Only for illegal. So good. You guys did good. Team A is awarded direct kick. They want to enforce the 10 yards. Team B places 2 players in defensive wall, properly positioned with the referee. A1 stands next to the wall. Is A1's position legal? What do you guys say?
Yes. Because it's only 2 in the wall. It has to be 3 or more.
There you go. Good job. Right? Because if they have 3 or more defenders in the wall, okay, And if they have 3 or more, then any attacking player must be 1 yard away from the wall. They can put as many attacking players around the wall, but there must be a 1 yard barrier around the wall. So they can go behind, they can go in front, to the side. They just can't get inside the wall. There's 2 players, they can stand right next to them. Okay.
Yep.
Last one. No, 2. Referee shall signal an indirect free kick by raising the arm of their head. How long is the signal to be maintained after the ball is kicked?
I say B until the ball touches another player.
That is true. But what happens if it goes out of play?
Oh, B or C. I
Yeah,
didn't
there
say-
you go.
I
Yeah,
didn't say
right.
B.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and that's a little different, right? And both officials, the lead and trail, will hold their hand up. Unlike in a 3-person crew where you have the assistant referee and the referee is the only one holding their hand up. In a 2-person system, both officials will hold their hand up and drop it, okay, when it's touched or goes out of play. Last one, team A is awarded an indirect free kick. Player steps on top of the ball without it clearly moving. A4 shoots the ball directly into the opponent's goal. What is the next step? What do we got? Is it a goal?
No goal.
Okay, so it's all right. So I'll go with you there. No goal. Why is it no goal? Because why?
Didn't move.
Yeah, it was indirect and it only had one movement, right? He's right. They only had one movement.
Well, didn't
The
move.
kicker that kicked it in, that was the only movement. The touch
Oh, right.
wasn't counted as a movement.
That's correct. So the touch didn't count as one. If that
Okay.
ball clearly moved, even just ever so slightly, right? And then that player shoots, we're good. But
You're good.
because it didn't clearly move, that's the key here. Then they're hosed, right? So what is it? B, C, or D?
Not sure. Goal kick?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Goal kick.
Because it went over yeah.
I'm with you guys. Yeah. It's just like any indirect kick, even if they wasn't anything fancy like this happening, right? If someone you're awarding an indirect kick and the guy just kicks it into the goal. Okay. And a smart goalie will let it go in. The goalie tried to a goalkeeper. The goalkeeper tried to touch it and deflected in, different story. But if it went directly in, you have a goal kick, just like it went over anywhere else. So these don't work. Anybody get these to work? They're telling me they don't work. These things.
Yeah, I did. On the test, I did. When
Yeah,
you
on
take
the test. So
yeah, it worked.
so hang tight on these. I don't know when I get some guidance on this, we'll clean them up. You can, I don't know what they even look like because I haven't actually gone in to get that far into the test. But what is there? 3 of them? 4 of them?
I
Oh,
think
there's more.
5.
5. Yeah, you're right. There's
Yeah,
5 video questions. We'll get the videos to you guys. I know the state's working on it. Like somehow these links are broken. So you guys have all access to this document. Those are listening on the recording. You have access to this document. Where you take this test is a whole different world. It's in the, you need to go to njsiaa.org and sign in. Of course, I'm not going to be able to sign it. It always tells me, I always have this thing where it says you forgot your password. I got to reset my password every single time. I don't know why. But this is where you take it. Well, actually, where you take it is under officials. You go to officials exam. So you're in the NJSI website. You go to officials under official exams, and they'll be here. And when you click into the soccer exam, it won't let me because I'm not logged in, but it'll show up here, and you actually can take the same questions you just saw, and you just put your answers in. But you have to be logged in. You have to log in. And for some reason, it always signs me out. I'm not going to mess with you guys now, fussing with my password, but, and that's it, right? What do you guys think? Not too
Okay.
bad? That test you can knock out of the way. Mike, you got yours done. And you guys should be able to do that. We have all the
Yep.
pretty much, I can't tell you on some of those ones that were kind of iffy, what we're going to, if we're going to get them right. But hey, you can guess them any way
It's
that
looking
you
like
think.
6 more hours left.
What's that? Oh, sorry. Okay. So any questions? So nothing next week. Next week is get your test done next week. I'll shoot a bunch of emails with some links, and then we'll reconvene the following Monday, which is the 14th. And that will be our last session, official session, unless you guys need a little extra time. You want to connect with me individually, that's fine. But the 14th of August, Monday, will be our mechanics session. And then the following week after, you're going to be on the field. So get your uniforms, get registered, and keep an eye out for, if you're not getting emails from Joe Rossi, our secretary, if you're not getting emails from ZebraWeb, that means you might not be properly registered. So reach out to me and Joe Rossi, who's our secretary, who makes sure that you get those emails. Everybody on this call, you guys getting the emails from ZebraWeb?
Yes.
The note, Zebra
Yep.
memos. Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Good. All right. That's all I got. Any questions before I kind of let you all off the hook? Good. It took a little longer than expected, but good conversation, guys. I think you did well. Okay.
Yep, thanks.
All right. So I'll see you not next week, but I'll see you on the 14th for our last session on mechanics and on-field positioning and all that great stuff. And we'll answer any of the last questions. We'll start a little bit earlier, like 7 o'clock, so we don't run so late. And that usually is a little bit longer because I want to go into, might even ask our signer to come on for a few minutes to talk to you guys, and we'll go from there. All right. Have a great night, great week. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, guys. We'll see you. Thanks.
See ya.
Take care.